Greetings and salutations, Dave, or I guess technically I should call you Dead on Dave. This is Christopher Daniels.
Hey everyone, it's the Native American Tonka. Want to give a big shout out to Dead on Dave.
Dave, this is Leon White, Big Van Vader.
Dead on Dave. What's up, man? It's the coach.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and I know when I want to keep up with the latest in wrestling news from around the world, I check in with Dead on Dave Productions. He covers a wide variety of wrestling topics, including the career of the hardcore legend. Don't miss it. Dead on Productions. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave, and I am joined with my good friend Jessie J because it is time for Running the Ropes. Yes, the show that Jessie and I talk about some of the greatest moments and our favorite moments in wrestling history. Jessie, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good for once.
Hey, that's all right. You look fantastic. I love this picture of you because you're so studly. You bring the thunder.
Yeah. Oh, right now you got. I look like Troy right now with the beard. Did you see that fucking thing?
Yeah, your beard or Troy's?
No, Troy's.
No,
it was epic. It was epic.
Good to speaking of epic, we've got a hell of a weekend ahead of us, man. Now we can't say that SummerSlam is going to be one of those amazing moments, but what we can say is that there's potential for some history-making things. I mean, Undertaker and Brock, Cena and Rollins winner take all. There is some exciting things.
Whoa, wait a minute. You spelled my fucking name wrong, buddy.
Jessie J, really?
Yeah, you spelled it with an I-E. I don't got tits.
I don't care. Hey, man. You know what? It's been spelled that way for a very long time.
Oh, you know,
wait, I can fix it. Wait, I can fix it. Wait, we're going to fix it. So Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to fix it. Damn it.
All right, so apparently Jake Hardy's having trouble viewing this, but it looks
like
everyone
always
else
does. Every time. Okay. Don't even answer him live on the air. Because it's every time with that guy. But usually there's no other problems, and when I go back and watch it, it's completely fine. So I don't know. He probably lives in Bumblefuck, Egypt. I have no idea. But that doesn't matter because it's time to get into our favorite SummerSlam moments of all time. I personally always been a big fan of SummerSlam. I'd probably say it's my fourth favorite pay-per-view of the year, but hey, that's pretty high up there. We're
fourth, my God.
Yeah, well, because for me it was always Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and King of the Ring is no longer a pay-per-view, but King of the Ring, WrestleMania, and then SummerSlam. Sometimes Survivor Series.
I see what you're talking about because I really enjoyed the King of the Ring when it was around.
Loved it. It was just one of my favorite friggin'. I love that pay-per-view. It's just great. And this is one of those that this year, like I said, I'm not sure what type of epic moments we're going to get, but I think that there is some potential. But we'll find that out this weekend. Today, we're talking about some of the moments that really made this event special for us. Now, I know SummerSlam has a little bit of a special place for you personally. You go ahead and tell your tale about that.
Oh, well, I've got two things really, I guess. That was my first introduction to wrestling was SummerSlam '98, the Highway to Hell. So, which it was a great time, I think, to be getting into it, because if it had been a year earlier, I don't think I would have liked it. It would have been too hokey for me and just too much of why I never watched wrestling in the first place. But then right at that time in '98, end of '98, it was hardcore. It was realistic,
It was firing on all cylinders, man. It really was.
It was crazy at that time. Stone Cold was, at his apex and shit.
You don't have headphones on, do you?
Oh, you fucker. I will. I'll put them on.
I could tell. By the way, for those of you wondering, Davey broke his shit. Remember the other day I was freaking out? Well, I fixed it. Because I'm an idiot, and I learned to not be an idiot. But that's okay. I'm with you, man. '98 SummerSlam was definitely a year to really get into it. I mean, I've been watching forever, but because I'm a wrestling snob, blah blah blah. But I don't know. Go ahead and why don't you hit me with one of your favorite SummerSlam memories that to start the ball rolling here.
Well, I mean, obviously, SummerSlam '98. I thought that was a really good one because it just got me into everything. But also, I think my favorite would have to be SummerSlam 2013. I was there for Daniel Bryan somewhat winning
The screw
title.
job, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it was really cool. I mean, to see him first, he got the legitimate win
Yeah.
at first, and it's just like, oh my god, they did it, you know?
They did it.
And,
they pulled the trigger.
and then they got us with the fucking turn too, the pedigree and all that.
the
So, I mean, and I was.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I was there the year before that as well, SummerSlam 2012, and that's probably the worst SummerSlam
That was
I've
a
ever
bad
fucking
one.
seen.
That was a bad one.
Oh, horrible.
What was cool about 13, and in particular that main event, is the more time that passes, I think the more significant it becomes, especially because that is really one of the biggest moments in Daniel Bryan's career, other than actually finally winning the title. But when he kind of won it, then to be screwed over, it gave us the birth of the Authority. What good or bad? I mean, some people may not be a big fan of that, but bringing Triple H back to his heel roots, I think, is always a good thing. I'm a big fan of that. And it just felt good. A lot of people knew it was coming. I think a lot of people felt that it might be coming, but it still felt like a big shock to some. And I love that moment personally, and I think it ranks up there. It really does rank high on the list. I'm not exactly sure how high, but it's certainly there. You being there definitely pushes it up a little bit higher, I'm sure, for you.
That, and also I didn't watch from 2002 all the way until 2012, so I didn't see all those SummerSlams in the middle, so I've seen pieces of them, but I mean, what about you? What's your favorite?
Well, for me, there's so many, man. I mean, there's a ridiculous amount, copious amounts of moments, if you will, that I just adore from SummerSlam. But if I have to pick one, I can go with Shane McMahon and his fall, with Steve Blackman. That's from 2000. That was an awesome moment.
That was great.
But for complete match, storyline, and just everything about it, it's 2002, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, the unsanctioned match between those guys. It is absolutely perfection when it comes to storytelling, execution, content, and quality of match. I mean, you can make the argument that was the beginning of the better of the two runs for Shawn Michaels. As good as his first run in the WWE was, and it was great. I mean, titles and all kinds of shit. He misses damn near 5 years of action, comes back, and is every bit as good, if not better, than he was before. And his perfect dance partner is really anybody. He can work with anybody. But for me, for my money, if it's not Bret Hart, it's Triple H. The things that they're able to create together, not just in a technical sense, but in a personal rivalry sense. There's so much there between the two of them, both real and kayfabe. It always shows. I love that match. I watch it probably 10 times a year, to be honest. I love that whole build.
Wow. I went back and watched it. Yeah, I watched it probably a year ago for the first time, that match.
That's
and
good. I love it.
I wasn't there for the build, obviously, but I'm sure it was great. The match
video
was
package
good.
is really good. The video package before that match is fantastic. It encompasses most of what happened between the two. The Shawn getting his face shoved into a car window, which looks awesome, and the figuring out who it was who did it. And Triple H leading the investigation, and it turned out to be him. It was great. It was so funny. It was you, Hunter. You're damn right it was me. Oh, it was great. I loved it. It was awesome. I love it. It was just so much fun.
At that time, they didn't know Shawn was going to be able to have a whole run, right? That was going to be a one-match thing, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a one-off, and because it just like in 2001, the end of 2001 and beginning of 2002, he started to feel a lot better. And he just started to poke around the idea of coming back. And he hadn't talked to Triple H in an awfully long time because they did have a falling out when all of his demons came to claim him. He was a really hard guy to be around. So then he just starts making the phone calls, and there's a lot of interest in having the showstopper back, and for good fucking reason. But yeah, nobody was really expecting this to be a run. And then not even 6 months later, he wins the goddamn title.
Oh, God. It was like 2 months later, yeah.
Yeah, in the first ever Elimination Chamber. I mean, Shawn Michaels, and people call him Mr. WrestleMania. You look back at his SummerSlam career, and it's quite fucking impressive as well. The ladder match in '96 with Razor Ramon, it's freaking fantastic. And him completely overselling old Huckster a few years later. What is it, 2007?
The Huckster. Are we talking about Huckleberry?
No, the Huckster. You know Hulk Hogan. The Huckster.
I know.
That match was
God.
shit, but Shawn's overselling is so good and so unrealistic.
Like
The way he's bouncing
Like a
all over the
fucking
place.
fish
I
out
love
of the
it.
water.
I love it. It's such a fuck you to the ultimate backstage politician, Hulk Hogan. I loved it. It was really cool. Really, really
Brother,
cool.
brother.
That story is one of my favorite stories too, with Shawn talking to Vince in the back. Vince is like, Shawn, you can go ahead and you can say whatever you want to Terry. Terry's business. He understands. And Shawn's like, I will tear this guy apart, Vince. You don't understand. He's like, Terry's business. Well, it turned out Terry was not business. He did not like the things that Shawn did in his vignettes and his promos. And he was pissed off because the deal was that Shawn was going to do the job to Hogan at SummerSlam. And then they were going to have a return match. And Hogan was supposed to do the favors to him. Hogan, leading up about a week before SummerSlam. Now, this is all stories that I can't 100% verify. These are stories that I've read from enough sources, including Shawn Michaels, to, come to a conclusion that it's probably true. About a week before, Hogan changes his tune. And he's like, I'm not jobbing to Shawn ever. I'm not losing a second. I'm not losing when we have a rematch. And Shawn says, fine, that's the way you want to play it. And so his little bit of retaliation was jumping all over the ring like a goddamn cartoon character. And it was great. I loved it. It was to the point where it could have been completely retarded, but it just wasn't for some reason. I don't know.
I got two things for you. First one, what's your worst SummerSlam moment? And secondly, what'd you think of the whole Nexus versus WWE thing?
I'm going to answer the second question first. Because that SummerSlam was interesting to me. I actually did like that because of the surprise because it was a genuine, legitimate surprise of having Daniel Bryan come back. He was fired because of the Justin Roberts thing. He was taking indie dates before and after SummerSlam, so nobody knew he was coming back. So when he became that fifth guy or sixth guy, whatever it was, seventh guy, however many there was on the team, because The Miz actually came out to be in the match. And then Cena said, "Get your ass."
I remember that now.
Cena says, "Take your ass to the back. You're not in this match." And he brings out Daniel Bryan. And that was really Daniel Bryan's true introduction to WWE, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that worst moment is a little bit more difficult for me. Oh God, I didn't research worst moments.
But,
2012 was pretty bad all together. All in all, it was pretty bad. Oh God.
About Taker versus Taker?
You know what? I'm a fan of Taker versus Taker. God
Are you really?
I am. I can't tell you why. I
love the idea of it.
I love the idea of it. I like anything Ted DiBiase. You're gonna sell me on. I am a fan of Ted DiBiase getting involved in stuff, and I like the idea of him just buying his own Undertaker. The execution, not great, but the moment when the real Undertaker does reemerge and Paul Bearer going absolutely orgasmic as he's coming out was great. And then the light, there was all that really cool shit that I thought did happen in that match. The ending, you got to at least say the ending was cool. The reversal of the tombstone, I thought that was badass.
Yeah.
That was cool.
No,
But it was hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was difficult.
Well, in that same year you had Brett and Owen in a cage. It's hard to do that.
That's one of the top 5 matches in SummerSlam history is Owen Hart and Brett in the cage for the Intercontinental Championship. That's a great match.
It was great.
Brett had a bunch of really good ones. Of course, probably the most for most people, especially if you're British or European, it's obviously it's going to be Brett and Davey Boy Smith at Wembley, which is really hard to not say it isn't, because it's not only one of the best matches in SummerSlam history, it's also one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. Everything about that match was good. The personal storylines that were behind the scenes, the real storyline that was going on camera, at Wembley, which fuck can we get a WrestleMania in Wembley?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Can you imagine? That would look so cool now.
Oh, it would look
nowadays.
so great, especially with the remodeled Wembley and stuff. Yeah, I just poked myself in the eye. I just poked myself in the eye. Oh my God.
And you know how Virgil feels when he wakes up.
That's right. I don't know. 96 was a good one for me, all in all, to be honest. Shawn Michaels and Vader was on that one for the WWE heavyweight. I think that was for a title, I believe. That was a cool one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying worst. Never mind.
No, not worst. I'm bouncing. I'm bouncing. I'm bouncing.
Gotcha.
I'm trying.
What was the first one? 1988, was it? Wasn't that the first SummerSlam?
I think it was.
I think it was their first pay-per-view of sorts, really. I don't remember what the card was. I don't know what the card was, but it wasn't like a big one because it was.
Let's find out.
It was still in the works at the time.
Find out. You know what? Because my keyboard sucks.
It's because all the jizz.
Yeah, I do. I jizz on my keyboard daily, because who doesn't? You know what? My shit is all locked up for some reason. It's pissing me off. But
hang on. Let's see. 88 card. Okay, so. All right, SummerSlam 1988.
There had to be some bad moments in that one.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had the Hart Foundation versus Demolition.
New York City, yeah, the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Savage, and the Mega Bucks, Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant. That's right. With Jesse Ventura, special guest refereeing. That's a great one. That's
my God, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't give a shit what anybody says. I know a lot of people put this on their best of list, but I'll tell you one of my worst moments, just because of its fucking sheer stupidity for me. I hated it. Hulk Hogan and Zeus coming face to face in '89. Now they're like,
God.
Oh, let's bring the movie to life. That'll work. No, it won't fucking work. Oh my God, I hated that. I
don't think I even watched that whole SummerSlam, so I don't think I saw that match.
I hated it. I fucking hated that one. I was not a fan.
Oh man,
I was not a fan. I don't know. There's so many great moments. It's hard. That's why I was prepared for the great moments, and then you hit me with the worst moments, and I was not ready for it.
Yeah, I mean the first one doesn't look like it was a bad card actually. I mean,
no, not at all.
When they really found their, footing on this pay-per-view, I don't know, what was it? What was 93? What did they have going? Oh, was that, fuck, I don't even remember who was there in 93.
93 was Yokozuna and Lex Luger, and that was in, yeah.
Oh.
That was
okay.
that was that one.
And what, okay, gotcha.
And that was in Detroit, that was in the Palace. That was in the past. Let's see that card. I got the card in front of me, or I will in a second. Come here, you bitch. Oh, yeah, it was Owen Hart defeating Barry Horowitz in the dark match. Razor Ramon beating Ted DiBiase in a singles match. The Steiner brothers, yes, the Steiner brothers were in the WWE, kids. In fact, they were at a WrestleMania, I believe, too.
I just remember the 1-2-3 kid. I just remember him being there for some reason.
The Steiners beating the Heavenly Bodies. Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey with Jim Cornette. That's a good one.
Heavenly Bodies.
Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect, that count-out match for the Intercontinental title. That was a good fight. That was when Shawn still had Diesel. That was a good fight. Erwin R. Shyster, yes, Papa Wyatt, defeating the 1-2-3 kid.
Oh.
They gave the whole 5 minutes to them. You know what Bret Hart did on you know what Bret Hart did on that card?
Yeah, what?
He defeated Doink the Clown.
Oh God,
he defeated.
No wonder I didn't.
He defeated Doink the Clown with Jerry Lawler, and then he loses to Jerry Lawler by disqualification. I shit you not. Yeah.
No wonder the only thing I remembered from that card was, hey, wasn't 1-2-3 kid there?
You know what? You know who's who's really pissed off about that event? Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty is pissed off, and I'll tell you why. Shawn Michaels is the Intercontinental Champion. He's doing all these great things. And they're like, Marty, here's what we're going to do. You're going to get Ludwig Borga, and you're going to lose to him. And we're going to give you 5 minutes. Enjoy. Don't worry, your push is coming. It never came.
Oh, as soon as they went with Shawn, his shit was over, huh?
Well, the funny thing was there were plans in place to have them have a feud. In fact, Shawn lost the Intercontinental title to him, I believe, on the very first ever Monday Night Raw because Marty Jannetty was the surprise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just pulling out fucking. I hope I'm right, but I'm pulling it out of my head.
No, yeah.
And that was supposed to be a long-term feud, but it was right after that where Marty started having legal problems. Could not stop stealing shit and stuff. He had some fucking bad problems. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Here's an easy one. Here's for worst. That same card, Undertaker and the Giant Gonzalez. In a rest in peace match. I don't even remember that happening.
What? I don't remember that at all.
I only remember the bullshit WrestleMania match that we got out of.
Yeah, the chloroform.
The chloroform match. I can smell it over here.
Yeah. You can smell it in the Arena Gorilla.
That's right. I can smell it in the Green Man. Yeah, the Arena Gorilla. That's right. Tatanka and the Smoking Guns defeating Bam Bam Bigelow and the Head Shrinkers. Yeah.
Huh.
And the main
That's
event.
definitely mid-90s.
That's definitely mid-90s. And the main event, Lex Luger, the $1 million body who couldn't draw a dime, versus Yokozuna, defeating him for the title.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Yokozuna had Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette, yeah.
How long did
By
he carry
count
the
out,
belt?
so he didn't win the belt.
Oh,
by count
no one.
out.
Okay, that makes sense. That's
by count out.
Okay. Jesus.
My bad. I didn't read it all. Reading is fun, the mental, and I only got the mental part. So, I mean, there's so many. This is kind of fun going through old cards. It was not the intent of this episode, but you know what? I'm kind of digging it.
You bring back memories, and then it fucking makes you. I don't even remember that happening.
We're running the ropes, man. We're running the ropes. We're going fucking crazy. So right now, since we are live, and it's a live show. It's a pseudo live show, limited audience participation. So for those of you who are watching right now, and there is a few of you, believe it or not, if you guys have any moments that you absolutely love, go ahead and put them in the chat below. Also, go ahead and hit that like button. Like buttons are free, kids. Woo! Hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you yet to do it. We are now at 1,133 subscribers. Holy shitballs.
Nice.
Thank you guys for that. We've officially passed Tommy C. Thank you. Bragging rights, bitches. No, actually, it's apples to oranges, really. He does hockey. I don't have an off season. He has an off season.
My fans are in Canada.
You guys are awesome, and I appreciate it. Also, if you want to get involved in the channel in other ways, you can rep your love for Dead on Dave with the cool Copious shirt and many other merchandise that you can find over at www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. You got the Copious Club shirt. You can drink from my face with the Copious mug and many other things. And if you want to get involved in a more direct way, go right into the description box below. Hit that little link that says donate, and you can donate to the channel and say, hey, fat man, love what you do. Here's a tip. But commenting is the easiest way. You can go ahead and comment and let me know what you guys think about your favorite SummerSlam moments. Looking at back to like worst of stuff, I see something, because right now what I'm doing is I got all of the SummerSlams in front of me and I'm looking at the main events, and whatever really shitty main event I see, I click on it. And this one, I barely remember it. 1995, Diesel and King Mabel for the WWE Championship. That couldn't have been good. I think I remember how bad it was, actually. That's right. Diesel retained the championship, pinning Mabel after performing a clothesline off the second rope. That's right.
What was that wasn't the main event.
That was the main event.
Oh my God.
That was the main event. And that was that was the same card as the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship. They had to follow that match. Diesel and King Mabel had to follow that ladder match.
Ladder match with who?
With Shawn and Razor.
That was WrestleMania 1994.
No, I'm looking at it right here. Ladder match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship match, SummerSlam. I'm looking at it.
Oh, they had. They had a second
two.
ladder match.
They had
okay.
two.
Sorry. Wow, and
had
they didn't.
to.
They should have put that last. What the fuck's wrong with? Oh, because it was Intercontinental
This
Belt.
was,
wasn't
remember,
it?
this was the rematch. This was the second match of that. This is where Shawn got over. This is where he actually won because he lost to Razor at WrestleMania, and he won the match at SummerSlam. But yeah, Diesel defeating King Mabel. What a terrible, terrible, terrible main event. We also got Bret Hart defeating Isaac Yankem, DDS, better known as the Christmas Creature, or better known as Kane. Yes, Glenn Jacobs, you're soon to be President of the United States. I hope.
Could you imagine?
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, Bret won by disqualification because I'm pretty sure Jerry Lawler probably got involved because it was his personal dentist. Remember? Oh my God, Undertaker had a penchant for casket matches back then too, because at SummerSlam he was doing a lot of casket matches. He had a casket match with Kama that year. Kama, better known as Papa Shango, better known as the Ho Train himself, the Godfather or Good Father, whatever you want to look at it, and maybe even better known as the Boogeyman's brother. So, shout out to my man, to my boy, if you guys remember him. And oh my God, I forgot his name. What? Who's the limey who used to be on here with me all the time?
Oh God, not Crowley?
Yeah,
What?
Ed Crowley. Oh my God, I forgot his name. He's a friend. I talked to him today a little bit, and I forgot his name. One of his favorites, Bertha Faye, had a match defeating Alundra Blaze for the Women's Championship. Bertha Faye. She died not that long ago.
Jesus.
That's sad. Barry Horowitz beating Skip of the Body Donnas with Sonny.
I don't even remember Skip.
You don't remember Skip?
No.
Of the Body Donnas?
Well, then again, any of the stuff before '98, I had to go back and watch, and anything in between there, I fucking didn't see. So
Smoking Guns defeating the Blue Brothers, Jacob Blue and Eli Blue, with Uncle Zebekiah. That's right. Oh my God.
I liked the fucking Smoking Guns, but it depends who they were with.
You know, Billy Gunn had a hell of a tag team run of his career, didn't he? He was in a lot of successful tag teams. Always seemed to be ready to be a breakout solo star. Just never did.
Billy and Chuck destroyed that. You know?
Yeah, Billy and Chuck destroyed anuses. That was terrifying. Hunter Hearst Helmsley beat Bob Holly back then. That was great. Hakushi defeating the 1-2-3 Kid. The 1-2-3 Kid lost a lot of early SummerSlam matches.
Yeah.
Remember Hakushi?
Oh, God, I remember the name.
He was the Japanese guy with all the tattoos all over his body and straight lines, the Japanese writing all over him. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was crazy.
Someone in the chat, or Vaughn 502 writes, worst SummerSlam 2004, Kane versus Matt Hardy.
That's pretty
I haven't seen that.
Oh, is that what they were fighting over Lita? I believe that was where they were fighting over Lita.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
I think that was when Kane was going to marry Lita.
Yeah.
They were going to have the dark ceremony and shit. I think I remember that.
Oh, God. Yeah, the stuff that it sounds like they took a dip back into 95 and 2005.
Right. Let's look at some of the 2000s. 2001 Booker T versus The Rock for the WWE or for the WCW Championship. That was the headline. That was in San Jose, California. And then 2002, The Rock versus Brock.
Yeah.
The put-over match. The put-over match. The next year it was Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Goldberg in the Elimination Chamber.
Oof.
Man. I think I remember
Goldberg?
that one. Yeah, Goldberg. I think Goldberg kicked his way out of the pod and shit. It was crazy.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and then the man we can't talk about versus Randy Orton in 2004 for the World Heavyweight title, Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. Yeah, it's crazy. There's just so many great moments. SummerSlam is really special to me. It always has been, always will be. And this week, man, since we covered some of the past, What about this week? What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to be let down, or is there going to be something that we're going to point to and really going to make this a magical event?
They need to. They need to make it a magical event. They've put way too much hype on it, and that may be actually their downfall if they don't do it right.
Well, I think they have extra pressure because of the NXT thing. You know, the NXT just got added 3 more matches. 3 more matches they just added out of nowhere to that.
To the NXT card.
To the NXT card the night before.
God damn.
It's crazy, and they're really putting a lot of eggs in their basket here because this is the event. This NXT event is gonna really be the turning point. This is where we're gonna find out exactly what NXT is gonna be. Does it have the potential to be a standalone brand in some forms, or exactly what is NXT? I think we're gonna find that out. I think a lot of answers to questions that we've been having is gonna be. We're gonna find out on Saturday.
I do. I actually, just recently, I was thinking about that, and I think it is gonna just get bigger and bigger. I mean, people are clamoring for more, and if people are trying to get tickets, and if they aren't getting it, they're like, "Fuck."
13,000 folks, Jess. 13,000 folks.
Yeah, people. I mean, if you were gonna go to see wrestling, you'd be better off either going to a fucking WWE house show or to an NXT show. Otherwise, you're just gonna be there for 3 hours for a fucking bullshit, theatrial thing. It won't be much wrestling. There usually isn't on Monday Night Raw.
Well, I mean, lately there's been
NXT,
more, to be fair. There has been more lately, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if you really are into the wrestling, NXT is going to be your place. WWE's got to be loving it because they're their only competition.
In a lot of ways, you're right. I mean, here's what it's done, though. It's kind of lit a fire under some of the other wrestling promotions to kind of innovate. I mean, for better or worse, whether you're a fan of Lucha Underground or not, you got to at least give a lot of credit to them for going for something big and ambitious. Because it's not really a traditional wrestling program as we know it. It's a damn television show that has all kinds of obscure television show lines. I mean, hell, somebody got killed on the last episode of Lucha Underground, for Christ's sake. Murdered, Jesse. I'm not even kidding. But for me, and that's great, and a lot of people point to it and go, that's why it's awesome. And that's great, but the acting for me, if you're going to be ambitious and you're going to try and pull that off, the acting's got to be passable. It can't be Telemundo, It can't be C-show fucking soap opera. It's got to at least be Dynasty, you'd think. Fuck. But we don't even get Dynasty. I mean, Jesus Christ. But it's interesting. People are like, oh, it's so... they talk about all the aggressiveness and all the extreme and all that stuff. And look, there's a balance that has to happen, and that's what WWE is able to do. So, but for better or worse, what NXT and my whole point before I went off on a tangent was NXT has really driven other companies to band together, and we're seeing that with TNA and Global Force Wrestling, even though it doesn't look like it's working, and others to innovate and try to go bigger. Ring of Honor doing what they're doing on Destination America. WWE's in talks of going to Destination America for some fucking reason. There's all kinds of crazy things that are happening, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that NXT is showing that there's still more to the wrestling industry in this day and age, where it seems so one-dimensional.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck they'd want to do over at Destination America, but
they want to get more eyeballs on NXT. I think that was what I read.
Oh, you mean for NXT? I'm sorry, I thought you meant for Raw. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, they're not going to put Raw there, but I could see them striking a deal and putting.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, putting NXT and maybe main event on there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. As good as the network is done, I think. Look, I think 1 million plus is pretty goddamn good. 1 million plus paid subscribers is not a bad thing. I do think eventually they'll get to 2.5 million. I think any more than that is a little ambitious, but I think it's very possible. And the network should continue to grow and be a success. I like the network. I wish I could watch it. I only have to watch offshoots of the fucking network because Germany still doesn't have the fucking thing.
Jesus.
It drives me nuts.
No, the network's great. There's got to be a lot of people out there though that don't want to spend the $10. They probably they go watch them somewhere else. So there's that. And other than, I don't know. If you put NXT on TV, I think that is a good idea.
It is.
It'll be the best wrestling show going. It'll wipe the other 3 off the fucking map, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if it's on Destination America, because I think we're going to find out if the low ratings are a product of Destination America not being in a lot of people's homes, or if it's a product of no interest in Ring of Honor and at TNA in some respects. Because if WWE goes over there and NXT is drawing double the audience, well, then obviously we have our goddamn answer. Destination America is not the problem, and I don't think it is anyway. TNA has lost a lot of its supporters. TNA used to have a lot of people championing the shit out of them, and now I don't hear it as much. So it's interesting. And
Well, I mean, I don't want. Sorry.
no, you're good.
Well, I don't watch TNA, but I do know based on what I've heard for the last year or so, like they sound like they're fumbling a lot, like they're just trying to figure out what's working and they haven't found it yet.
Fumbling is a great word because that's what they do. Any momentum that they have, they fumble. But let's hope that this weekend isn't a fumble because it could be. Let's face it, WWE's track record for big hype moments is not always superlative in the last couple of years. It's not always sparkling. It can be subpar at times, and I'm hoping that with all of the positive momentum that's happened recently, I think the last few months there's been noticeable improvement on both Raw and in some degree SmackDown, and at the pay-per-views I felt have delivered a lot more often than not. I think this could be one of those years, man, where it's just really special. They're going to 4 hours. That could be a mistake, but I have a feeling it's going to be cool. Each match has to have something really snappy. Stephen Amell needs to hit a fucking red arrow. Am I hoping for too much? Probably. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, you know what I don't like is their track record with shitty go-home shows.
Yeah, but shitty go-home shows have led to some really good pay-per-views. So there hasn't been a good go-home show in a while.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
I was surprised this last week was a go-home show. I forgot all about it because it was so bad.
Yeah, it was pretty subpar. And you know what, though? A lot of people didn't really share our opinion in that. A lot of people in chats I was reading were relatively happy with Raw, which I was a little shocked by, to be honest. But it wasn't that
because
bad.
The Undertaker's music hits, they get all wet.
They got wet. Yes, there was a wet spot in their sheets because The Undertaker came out. That's right. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I hope you guys are going to be joining us here and on the Joe Cronin Show all week for all the amazing things that we're going to be covering. I'm doing 2 shows this weekend on both Saturday and Sunday. No Tommy C. He's on vacation, so there's no shot from the point. I'm going to do a show on Sunday because I'm not going to pick up my NFL stuff until next week. So I'm going to cover NXT on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour later than usual. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. Dead on Dave Live will be covering NXT preview show. Then we'll all watch NXT, and then, of course, I'll be on Joe Cronin after that doing the review directly there. And then when we're done there, I'll come over here and wrap up with you guys. Then on Sunday, once again, but it'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Sunday, we'll do the SummerSlam preview and predictions and take your calls. And then we'll do the exact same thing. We'll go watch SummerSlam, and then I'll do the Joe Cronin review, and then I'll come back here and wrap up. So we got all kinds of amazing things. Then Raw the next night. Jesus Christ, you guys are going to be so sick of me if you're not already.
Yeah.
But I'm
busy
excited.
Week.
It's a busy week, man. But you know what? I got some good sleep. I did some picking today. I'm about to eat some yummy rice probably. I don't know what are you making me? What are you making? You're doing something Germany over there. What are you doing? Noodling? Noodling. Hackfleisch. Hackfleisch Nudeln. That's right. So
Sounds hot.
yeah, it is. Hackfleisch is a sex act here in Germany. That's true. Logan Bears in chat says Austin and Owen in 97. Hey, you don't talk when I'm talking, babe. I asked you a question. No. God. Hey, you calm down.
Quiet long enough. I even went to the other room.
I'm going to call the Pulitzer on you, crazy woman.
Go ahead, Mr. Sucko.
Sucko! I don't know. Oh, yeah, because I'm wearing these weird Simpson socks and I'm sitting here in my underwear.
I was going to say, you got a sock on your dick?
Well, that's a different story. That's for later. That's just for your eyes, baby. But other than that, I mean, I think that's all we got. This is a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of moments from the history of SummerSlam. I hope you guys are excited about this week in spite of a subpar Raw. And I hope you guys support everything that we're doing here and on the Joe Cronin Show to get yourselves moist. Yes, moist. Rub the dipples. Moist for SummerSlam. And enjoy the wrestling. Jesse, what you got any last thoughts here before we wrap it up?
Well, Logan Barrett here says Austin versus Owen in '97 was one of my favorites, and I'm curious why that match didn't really get going, did it?
Let's find out. Austin.
I mean, I know after they did that fucking pile driver, it was like it.
Yeah, well, it was 16 minutes. It was 16 minutes, so they did have a match. But yeah, that was the cripple match. That's right, where Owen damn near paralyzed Austin with one of the weakest roll-ups in history for a victory. But it was a good match even up until that point, you know. And then
I have to go back and watch it. Yeah. I couldn't remember if they even got much wrestling, and I guess they did.
No, and you know what the thing is? It gets overshadowed because the next match was Bret Hart and Undertaker for the title, and that was the match that kind of gave birth to heel Shawn Michaels in a lot of ways because he accidentally cost Bret the title
Oh, yeah.
He accidentally cost the Undertaker. And that's what led to the first ever Hell in a Cell match. So, yeah, that was a really significant... Another Shawn Michaels SummerSlam moment.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Oh, Mankind and Hunter S. Helmsley and a steel cage match. Oh, that's when Chyna slammed the fucking door on Mick's head.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good fucking SummerSlam. Jesus. SummerSlam 97. Rock, Goldust, and Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman at a SummerSlam. Yeah. That's awesome. Legion of Doom versus the Godwins. British Bulldog and Ken Shamrock. Los Boricuas, holy shit, versus Disciples of Apocalypse.
Oh my God, the Los
Boricuas.
Coming with the fucking lowrider.
Oh, yeah, God. Savio, Miguel, Jose, and Jesus.
Oh Jesus.
Huevos Rancheros. I don't know.
Oh hell, we were in the strap match. The goddamn lights went out.
The damn lights went out. The strap match. The fucking Christ Jesus.
Oh jeez.
And he took me and he fucking whipped my ass with a goddamn strap in the dark. I don't know what the hell fucking voice I'm doing. But, yeah. So, look, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Thank you, guys. Make sure you support. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share as always. Jesse, thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. More Running the Ropes are coming, kids. And this was number 5. 5? Yes, 5. 5? Yes, 5. But thank you guys. Cinco. Fünf in Deutsch. Yes. Auf Deutsch. Fünf. But that's all I got. I'm Dead on Dave. That's Jessie J. That's sexy cripple himself. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.